from what our panelists have said, how can you introduce some of this, your technology, towards the space sector? I know already what you're doing in the social, what you're doing in communication. How can you leverage some of the knowledge and what you have built in the past to integrate it into the space science and technology sphere to monetize this environment?
Okay, first thing first, I think one of the first things that I'm seeing exactly what we can do in this Nigerian Space Agency is by creating a model, a satellite model systems that could be a sort of a platform for every kind of SMEs and startups to kind of, let's take for example, you want to build something, you have an idea of building something. You just have to take a look at the satellite systems model, which is, I suggest it should be an open source. Make it an open source, and there other people can contribute in building APIs, helping anyone that have an idea of building something on top of it can come in and have all the resources free, and data, cheap data being available for them. I think it could really, really help in allowing the private sector to be a part of the satellite systems. And another thing is that we have to really look into ourselves and understand that if we do not focus on using the space data, we will be out-innovated and outplaced in the next 5 years. So like my fellow panelists have said, building this satellite, the next thing is about we using them, and using them ensure that we have to increase the knowledge participations in the youths and everyone involved in this country. They have to understand exactly what it is. Let's take, for example, for mining, and also, let's say in mining, for you to maybe find the new oil well, probably would require you to have let's say $100 million. But with space data, you don't need all that. You can slash that by almost 70% by, making use of the space data, having access to it, and then you could be able to know where in Nigeria have the biggest oil revenues or oil well in the country. Let's take, for example, the Abuja itself is having issues in terms of revenue and tax collections. And maybe some houses haven't paid their, land rent. Maybe, the government doesn't even know who pays and who doesn't. With space data, because what they build, the satellite, we can make use of the satellite radar and be able to use that to find out which house haven't paid, his land rents, revenue collections. These are all practical experience, real life scenarios that we can do. And that is one of the reasons in ABBA technology, what we've done. What we've done is ensuring that the data in Nigeria stays in Nigeria and is used by Nigerian for Nigerian and for the betterment of Nigerian. And any Nigeria can be able to monetize their own data and have resources or revenue coming out of it. And that is what we've done in ABBA technology, which I believe in the next month you could be able to download our technology and have access to it. You can create and monetize your own content in ABBA Tech Solutions platform. So this is a big revolution in the history of this country because we never had something like this before. So I believe for sure that if we really, really need to ensure that space data or the space philosophy itself is enshrined in the university and other educational platforms so that the youths and people participating in this country can be able to know I have access or I can gain access. First thing first, the open source system is the first thing, and we will help in building the APIs, interfacing it with the satellite system so that anybody who have an idea, or because one of the panelists mentioned about crops and stuff, precision system. What if you can build a mobile phone applications that offer that, and just with SMS, you can model it and have farmers' numbers and then send them SMS of the right time to plant their crops. So you see just how much does it cost an SMS? But building that technology and giving it to them and teaching them how to use it, and it can create jobs for so many Nigerians because you are now also a reporter and an interpreter. You can be able to interpret the weather and inform a certain sections of the country and tell them, listen, there's going to be flooding in the next 2 days. So I suggest you start, packing out of here. So we can build this into mobile technology. That is only if and only if the Nigerian Space Agency allowed the modeling of these satellite systems. But they have to come up with their own model, and then we can build an open source systems and allow anybody, foreigners and anyone who comes to Nigeria to collaborate with the Nigerian Space Agency to contribute into that open source so that everybody can have access to it and build it, refine it, and make it the best things that could happen to us.
So, Dr. Mustafa, he has thrown this to NASDA. He said the private sector is ready to create innovative ideas, but they require NASDA to create the enabling environment for this to thrive. What do you think NASDA can do to attract the private sector and their technology in collaboration with what we have in NASDA to monetize the sector?
Thank you, Dr. Sheon. There are a lot of things we need to do. And the first of all is, first of all, to identify the activities, the private sectors and their activities. What do they do? And how can space technology be applied in their activities? How can it promote their activities? That's the first thing we need to do. By doing so, we will now look at how space technology can improve it. And I believe we have been doing a lot in this aspect. The other thing I have not mentioned, which I need to mention, is the public sector too. We have over 150 MDS in this country. And each of these MDS needs the product of this space technology in one way or the other. And they end up going to the federal government to collect funds to procure these products. Now, we can collaborate with the private sectors that provide these and get it delivered to the MDS that are in need of these services. And one thing we have not mentioned is how do most of the MDS use it? Take, for instance, the Federal Ministry of Health. They use the space, they need the product of Space Agency, that is the satellite imagery, for hospital optimization. And the Federal Ministry of Education needs it for schools optimization. Every sector in human endeavor requires the product of this space technology to promote its activities, and get it achieved, and achieve its mandates with the best ability and the cheapest cost. And when you cut cost, you are saving fund. When you save money, you are making money. You notice that last year, last 2 years, the Soviet General of the Federation procured so many satellite imagery, and they use federal funds to do that. The INEC, is it INEC? No, Population Commission also acquired satellite, the same data that can serve the same purpose for all the agencies. Yet, each of the agencies went individually to collect money from the federal government. When this is harmonized and we collaborate with the private sectors to get this product at cheaper rates. So far, we are collaborating with LASAC. It's a company in China, and they are offering us this product as very subsidized rates. And this can serve many applications. If all the MDS will come to NASA and require a request for their satellite images from NASA, that will save the government from unnecessary expenditure. Now, the problem with the private sectors is to even get them to come. It's a major challenge. But what we will do, we have started doing, and we will keep on doing it, is to propagate our activities. And what we can do, we have the capacity, we have the capabilities to do that, to use this technology to make you achieve your mandate in the simplest way with the cheapest cost. If they keep on coming to us, definitely they will cut cost, because what you need to do in a year can be done within 2 weeks using space technology. And the state governments too can come to us. Data in their respective states can be mapped, and this is money. By the time you identify the plot of lands that can be mapped within a state, you are making money, because once you laid out that that kind of an area and you provide the infrastructure, you sell it, and you get people to come and buy them. The problem is the state governments are not, most of the state governments are not willing to come, but we'll keep on promoting our activities by hosting a kind of conference of this magnitude. Thank you.
Thank you. So just to recap what our panelists have said, Mr. Power is of the opinion that they are ready and they're just willing for NASDA and other private sectors to collaborate. I know you've recently signed an MOU with NASDA, and they're working to use your technology to help with the space sector. Satlantis is working extensively in Europe and are moving into Africa, and they are, with their 16 microsatellites, they're well positioned to monetize this space. And NASDA is also making themselves available, even though it's been a bit difficult, as Dr. Mustafa has said. There are opportunities for the private and the public sector to work together to monetize this space. So just before we end, I'll give each of you 1 minute. What do you see as the future in your different spaces for monetizing the space technology in Nigeria within the next 5 to 10 years, if there's proper funding? Well, so we'll start with Mr. Power.
Okay. First thing first, I think what we need to reinvent ourselves as a nation. If we are able to reinvent ourselves as a nation, we will be able to see Nigeria that there is no other place to go to. There's no other place to be. This is our country, and this is where we this is where God wants us to live, and that is why we are here. And if we see the importance of building a nation, then we will understand exactly what this space satellite data really means, because it's not something you have to sweep under the table. It's very, very important. And the world is moving very, very fast, and we have to keep up with that pace. In the next 5 years, almost every sector that does not, any sector that does not use satellite data in the next 5 to 10 years will not exist anymore. And that is very, very important to all of us to wake up and begins to think in the directions and say, what can we do much better? Take, for example, there's this story I heard about in the news. I just want to share this with you a couple of weeks ago. In India, India wanted to buy a fighter jet from Russia, S-57. And the deal is actually going on, but here's what surprises me, the information about this private jet. They want to buy the private jet with the source code. They want to buy the private jet, the fighter jet with the source code. You know what that means? It means in the next few years, the maintainability of that, when it has issues, how do you maintain it? It's not going to be maintained by Nigerians. And see, so that is the biggest problem we face, bringing in technology without having the opportunity to learn about that technology. And when the technology is outplaced, we are gone, because there is no furtherance of knowledge. So my recommendation is this, that in the next 5 years, if we can be able to work with the government, the people who actually pilot so much of the environment that we live in, if we can install to them and say, if you make a deal outside the country, can you include that, they should give the opportunity for the youths of this country to learn about how that technology was developed. And if you can make that such a deal, maybe it will be more expensive and you pay for it, but you will create more knowledge, you will create more ideas. Think about if those knowledge is actually available in the streets, that means people will be opportune to be able to pick up that knowledge and expand on it and move to, to an advanced version. So finally, we have to take example. We have to really take a serious look into this. If not, we are going to risk the youth of this country. And we have to do more by ensuring that this government, or the government, mostly the Nigerian satellite, create a model, an open source system. Because if they don't, it will still make the youth of this country a little bit far from what they are doing. And I take my own share of Abatech Technology Solutions. We will discuss more with the Nigerian satellite systems to ensure that we create that model of open source, so that anybody that have an idea, just like you, the moderator, I learned in your introductions, you have an idea of precision farming. What if we develop a technology for that? And you can be able to patent that and make money from that. I think it's a great idea. So we want to build a platform for people to build their own ideas and knowledge on it using the satellite data. I think that is something we really want to do. I think it will help a lot to bring everybody on board.
Thank you so much. Satlantis, final remarks?
Yes, so I would say that there are 2 points important in the discussion regarding Satlantis. The first one is that Satlantis doesn't have presence only in Europe and only in Africa. We have presence all over the world. We have signed contracts in America, Latin America, Europe, hopefully soon Africa. We have signed contracts in Asia. And we are here to support NASDA and Nigeria and give access not only to Nigeria but to other African companies or countries, to an high technology asset. And with this asset, start not only using the technology to solve each country's problems, but also to start generating revenue by selling this type of data. So we have access to many countries in the world, and with our support, we can open up these countries to African countries to sell this data. So we will give you access through us to different countries. And the second thing, taking a bit what he was saying, is the knowledge. We are here to support and give knowledge to the country to generating a second way of revenue, that is building their own capacity in the country, building their own satellites in the country, building the Nigerian satellite, and we will help you not only to sell this satellite to other African countries, to neighbor countries, but also to every part of the world. We would help you to establish and to boost the space ecosystem with the transfer of knowledge necessary to build local capacities in the country.
So let me add to that, because this is very interesting. With what he said, is a very practical experience of exactly what we should do. Take, for example, before now, the previous panelists that were here, a lady asked a question and said, what is the practical success story that we have? And these are examples, these are some of the things we're supposed to show. This is that, we've done this, we've done that. Nigeria does not need to launch a rocket to the space anymore. We just need to we have partners like them, he's representing this company, and they have a lot of satellite system. All what we just need is to have access to the data, and then we could be able to create millions of jobs just within a space of time in this country, just with having access, because this can do a lot of work. If we are ready right now to say, we want to change the trajectory of unemployment in Nigeria, satellite data can be one of them to change that within a space of time. Not even up to 1 year, it can be solved.
Dr. Mustafa, would you like to react?
Yeah,
he said NASDA don't need to launch any more satellites.
Yeah, he's right to some extent, because we have data that are not being used. I mean, we make use of them by ourselves, but those that are meant to serve are not coming for them. What I will suggest is for the government to make laws that every organization that is under the federal government must first of all, use satellite data and GIS, and must come to NASDA to acquire those satellite imagery. Now, until you are able to convince the world that the people that this is the capacity of, this is the capabilities of the satellite data, the private sector might not even want to come to you. And this is what is being done in the countries that are of the same rate with ours, the developing countries, like places like Malaysia, Thailand, they have made laws that you cannot, no organization that is under the federal government can carry out any activities without using space technology. That kind of laws needs to be enacted in this country. And without doing that, we will not forge ahead. And let me even mention the penalty. Any chief executive that refuses to follow these rules should be relieved of his appointment. It's easy. There are many of us that are willing to occupy these offices. Can you imagine multiple organizations going to the same post to collect the same money for the same products? Is that not an insult to us? That is waste. And when you use space technology, by the time you use space technology and you now experience the kind of cost you have cut, you will not hesitate. You will not have second thoughts to go for anything other than space technology. So I strongly recommend that the federal government needs to ensure that this is implemented. I thought that would have been implemented last dispensation when we have a space scientist as the president of the Senate. But he has left without doing it. But the present Senate, the liaison officer, please, you need to liaise with the National Assembly to ensure that these laws are enacted and they are implemented. Thank you.
Please, can we give a huge round of applause to our panelists? Due to time, we'll have to stop now, even though it was getting a bit interesting at this point. I'd like to also thank the audience for your rapt attention. I'll use this opportunity on behalf of myself and the panelists to state that for Nigeria to move forward in the space science and technology, the public and the private sector have to come together for us to foster and get out the best products that can help the government as well to make revenue and then to create jobs in the private sector. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for the moderator and the panelists. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's applaud them. Let's applaud them for a wonderful job. Let's have a group photograph very quickly, and then the members of the committee will now present them with a gift. Thank you. That's the last activity for today. As we prepare to go for lunch, let me quickly announce that we allow our invited guests Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's allow our invited guests and our directors from ministry, from NASDA, from ACCI to please take their turns for the lunch, and then the rest of us can follow suit. Of course, to the left of this hall is reserved for our bosses, our directors, while to my right is reserved for those the rest of us. And then we are taking the vote of, please, let's not leave yet, please. Let's wait, please. Let's wait, please, for the closing remarks that will be said by O.C. Imomo, the chairman of the LOC. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we reconvene again at 9 a.m. 9 a.m., please. The chairman, sir, the closing remarks. Please just wait for us 1-2 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon. I want to actually thank all of you for staying this long, for your patience. The event for today will now close with a lunch that will be served just behind you. For tomorrow, we're going to start this event a bit late. We're going to start at 11 o'clock. That's for a reason. Our foreign partners are going to be visiting our principals at NASDA and the ACCI. So we're going to start the event tomorrow at 11 a.m. And please do not miss tomorrow's event, because there'll be a big announcement There will be cultural dances and all that, and other events. So don't think it's ended today. Tomorrow is a bigger day. So please endeavor to come tomorrow for the final session. We'll commence at 11 o'clock. Then when we end, we'll have lunch and we'll have other activities like cultural troops and all that. So once more, I want to thank you so very, very much for staying back, for your patience, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Please, IT, can we have the national anthem? Please, the national anthem as we close the session for today. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you. 11 a.m. tomorrow. That's good. 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thank you. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. will reconvene. Thank you very much.